Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. Thank you so much for being with us. Hey, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. Join us daily. We're here with the KJVer, stands for Easy Read, Sword Study Bible. This is the Sword Study Bible, KJVer. Also comes in KJV. I've done a review in the KJV as well, smaller edition of this, and also the traditional. I remember maybe back even into the 70s, 80s, 90s, there's this huge Bible with a red letter Old Testament that had the names of God, Chicago statement in the back, all kinds of neat stuff. This is the heir of that. And so it has a little presentation page. I won't show you that. It's just a basic one. Real thin paper. And it's done by Whitaker House. Whitaker House is known for doing Christian classics and maybe sometimes with a charismatic flair, but a lot of like your Andrew Murray kind of books and that kind of things. It tells you how to use it. We're going to go into a little bit of that. Now, this first part is in the classic old Sword Study Bible. Everybody just called it Sword because it had the big sword on it. Pretty good. Appalachian used to sell that back in the day. Those of you that remember Appalachian, that was a Christian distributor in Johnson City, Tennessee, especially books and Bibles, but some Southern Gospel too. And they in Riverside went the way of all the earth. Spring Arbor may still be around, but maybe it's under a different name. I remember Mr. Carlson from Spring Arbor is always a very nice person. Skit Knapp from Riverside is also a very nice person as well. I've gotten a lot of preaching from this over the years, basically showing Jesus as Jehovah, but a lot of stuff on God here. Now, here's a little thing of his of biblical terms rarely used today. Before we get there, there's the attributes of God. He is unity, a spirit, invisible, true God, living God, none with him, none before him, none like him, none beside him, the living God, eternity, first and last. That is an extremely good section right there. But here's definition of biblical terms rarely used today. This is very good. Kind of reminds me, Holman has a good section on this in a lot of their Bibles. And then Schuyler, I think, picked it up from Holman. It'll say, you know, kind of hat tip to Holman or whatever the case is. Now, let's see if this is the red letter Old Testament. I don't think it is. I don't think it's red letter anywhere, but I could be wrong. I may have missed it. No, it's not the red. It is. It is the red letter. I did skip it. I can't believe it. Here it is. Let's see if we can get you some more red letter here in the Old Testament. Oh, that's not much. But it's a very beautiful red letter. You know, I got so enthralled with kind of looking at some things in the back, I just did a cursory look and thought, they're no longer doing the red letter Old Testament. But I didn't examine it real close till this video. You never know what you're going to find. You know, some videos too, not this one, I did look through this one, that I just do it so people will know what they're getting into, like we're experiencing it together, kind of an opening kind of thing. And it does have good things at the end of verses, like translations and stuff at the end of verses. I still say that one reason Nelson's large prints in the 70s, 80s, and 90s did so well, and the Holman's, is they translated the words at the end of the verses when they were difficult. Now here's all the word changes, of which there are several hundred between this and the KJV. All right, so it's basically the KJV. One of the things I don't like, I just had a commenter really make I don't think they really understood the point I was making, like thee, thou, thine is singular, ye, you, yours is plural in the King James. And that makes a real difference in understanding the Bible. This just does you, like for whether it's singular or plural. And that makes a big difference. But a lot of these changes are just like reigneth, reigns, rejecteth, rejects, rejoiceth, rejoice, on and on and so forth. So, you know, sometimes when people ask me, they'll say, let me show you what's going on between the testaments here. This is a good section. okay, I just can't read the King James, whatever the case is. And we know about the Flesch-Kincaid method. We know the Waite's doing such a great work, D.A. Waite and his son, showing the ease of use of the King James. But people just say, I can't. They'll say, what's the next best translation? I usually say the KJVer. Just to go with KJVer, because it's going to be so close. It really is. And, but KJV. And then here's the margin reference guide for various things, God's commands, blood, all this. And you'll see this in the margins. I'll try to point it out when we get to the New Testament. So all this is in between the Old and the New Testament. I'd say 30-40% of the Bibles out there, that's just a guess, not scientific, have like a lot of stuff between Malachi and Matthew sometimes, and I think a lot of people miss it and don't know that it even exists in the Bible. So here's a basic New Testament outline. I'll show you the introduction to Matthew. Now, the print's going to be small. You have to, laws of physics. God superintends the laws of physics, and God is His Word. But this is paper. And so just as Jesus in His flesh, He was God in flesh, but the God of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, but Jesus slept and ate because He was in humanity. And this is in paper. And so you're going to have to give up something. So in the notes section, I'm going to guess it's 7-point print and it's very light and has ghosting. In the other, the print is like really good, like over 10, I'm going to guess. And but it still has ghosting and has end of verse references and helps. The end of verse, that is my preferred. And here's the red letter, really nice red letter. Remember, it is red letter Old Testament. I was going into this review thinking it was not. Because I was like, man, it's the Sword Bible. The Sword Bible's known for being red letter. Now, some of you really like the green letter Bible that World used to put out because it was done by people with sight disabilities. There was a certain segment of people with sight disabilities that green letter really helped them. Red letter started in 1898 with Louis Klopsch. Louis Klopsch. And let's see if it's red letter at the end of Revelation. I think it is. Yep. Now, Sister Waldron will show us the margins here. And that's, you'd really have to go back to that point in between the Old and the New Testament and the margins. It has some things in there showing you whether it's prophecy or something like that. And that's what the deals in the margins are. Now let's measure the margins and see if we can write in this. Now remember, this is going to be very thin paper. Very thin paper. And it's 0.6 inches. That's writable. 0.2 inches is not, but there's space between like Revelation is and things like that. Very deep, dark, like Revelation 21. It does not have in text verse header, subject headers. 1/2 inch at the bottom. That's not bad. And none in the gutter. That's just the way it is. He pulled us out of the gutter. And has one of the best articles. First, I'm going to mention this one, How to Interpret the Bible by Paul Danielson. All kinds of stuff back here. But then a creationist defense of the King James Bible by Henry Morris. Absolutely fantastic. They made it into a tract back in the day. I don't know if it's still available as a tract. It's in the Morris Study Bible. He defends the King James as ably almost as anybody. And it's also going to have a thing of chronology by Floyd Nolan Jones. I'm moving fast. Astronomy, splendors in the heavens, scientific discoveries that support creation, carbon-14 and recent creation, what the Bible says about the end time, Charles Childers, the Bible, science and creation, Jewish calendar, that's the Bible, Science, Creation by Henry Morris, What We Believe, Chronology of the Bible, unbelievable, by Floyd Nolan Jones, one of my favorite authors anywhere, the Magdalene Papyrus, absolutely fantastic, the Mutilation of Mark 16:9 through 20 by Nolan Jones, unbelievable here. Where Did the Races Come From by Ken Ham, Carl Weiland, and Dr. Don Batten. And this is kind of like Speed's genealogy in the original 1611 King James, which a lot of people just love by itself, but it'll take you through Adam to Jesus. And the thing is a lot of this would have been in the temple. This is where Matthew and Luke would have gotten their information, maybe, with divine inspiration, obviously. But it would have been readily available genealogies. So in the back, Chronology of Acts, fantastic. Making Grace Amazing, Last Things, a topical concordance that is out of this world. Now, I've seen this topical concordance, I want to say, in Bibles maybe from the 1800s. I looked at the front before I did the video of the topical concordance. It just said topical concordance. Now, I didn't look at the front of the Bible. I looked at the front of the topical concordance. But I was trying to figure out, where did this thing come from? And so this is just so good. So good. And it's hundreds of pages, I'm suspecting. And then it has little black and white maps. It's 898, topical concordance. Goes to page 898, and it starts on page 609. So that is 289 pages. And here's a little black and white map section. Now the thing is, you can get these guys for under 20 bucks. Now I think for under 20 bucks, this is about the best study Bible you can get. I know it's paperback. And we haven't measured it yet. It's thick, but it's small. With decent print. You're going to have to give up something somewhere. A lot of the study helps have small print. Small print, as they would say in Africa. It is 11.5 print. I just found it. And see, it's only 7.3 inches high. So that's small. And let's see how wide it is, and then we'll see how thick it is. It is 5.5 inches thick. Appreciate Sister Waldron zooming in and out. She is very well, possibly the best camera person in the entire world. We have to give suggestions every so often. And some of you viewers are so kind to give suggestions. Make sure they're suggestions and not derogatory. But she is fantastic. Great wife, as a matter of fact. 2 inches thick. 2 inches thick. So get the Holy Bible, Sword Study Bible. Highly recommend it. And now I say highly recommend it. It comes in King James and KJVer. Now, I think God wants accuracy even more than understandability. I'd go with KJV for accuracy. For, if you're just reading it or something like that and need almost, I hate to put it like this, like a Bible storybook or something, okay. Or to compare it with your King James. You read a couple verses in King James and kind of translate it through this. God bless. I'm not going to please everybody. I'm just making suggestions. Love you. Thanks for being here. Hit the bell notification, subscribe. Talk with you later. Jesus.